So Realme has just launched their newest smartphone here in the Philippines, and it's actually their first smartphone here, and it's the Realme C1. So is the Realme C1 really the king of entry-level Android smartphones? Well, check out my unboxing and hands-on of the Realme C1 in a bit. Hey guys, I'm JumOnline.ph, and today we're gonna unbox and take a closer look on the Realme C1. So this is their entry-level Android smartphone. It's one of the most affordable Android smartphones that you can get right now, and it packs a Snapdragon 450 chipset, which is pretty powerful enough for its price of 5,990 pesos. And of course, before we proceed to our unboxing, let's check out the specifications of the smartphone. Inside the smartphone is a Snapdragon 450 chipset. It comes with 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of internal storage. And when it comes to camera, the Realme C1 features a dual lens 13 megapixel plus 2 megapixel rear camera, 5 megapixel front camera, and of course a 4,230 milliamps of battery, and it's running on ColorOS 5.1. So it's really interesting because it packs a large battery, especially again for its price, and the 450 chipset, well, it isn't the most powerful chipset that you can get right now, but it is capable enough to run most games, including PUBG Mobile in our previous experience. So what are we waiting for? Let's unbox and let's take a closer look on the Realme C1. You already know the specifications of the Realme C1, so let's proceed to the unboxing of the smartphone. Very simple box by Realme. So basically we got here the quick guide, the important information guide, and of course the jelly case. We also got here the smartphone, which we will talk about later. The charger, which has an output of 5 volts, 1 ampere, and of course the USB-A to micro USB cable, so you can charge the smartphone. Now you already know what's inside the box. Let's check out the smartphone now. Alright guys, so you're looking at the Realme C1, and as you can see here, we do have the notch display, and yes, this one is priced at 5,990 only, but it feels like more than that. I actually like the feel of the smartphone, and it doesn't feel like it's 6,000 pesos month. It actually feels more than that. Okay, so as you can see here, we got here the 6.2-inch HD plus display with an 88.8 screen to body ratio. However, yes, we do have a notch display. We do have a good screen to body ratio here, but I do feel like the smartphone doesn't have the best brightness on its price range. But again, we're getting a display with a notch and also an 88.8 screen to body ratio. That is still really good. Okay, of course, we got here some little chain below, and yes, it does look like the OPPO A3s. On the left side, we got here the volume rocker and also the SIM card tray. On the other side, we got here the power button, and at the top we got nothing, and below we got here the USB port or the micro USB port to USB-A for charging and also for data transfer. We got here the speaker grill and also the 3.5mm headphone jack. At the back, we got here a really simple back. We got the Realme logo over here. It's very minimal. The one that we got is a black one, and yes, we do have the dual lens camera at the back, which is a 13 plus 2 megapixel rear camera, and of course the LED flash. And at the front, we can already see here that we got a 5 megapixel front camera. So the smartphone actually has a face recognition, but it doesn't have a fingerprint scanner. So as you can see, I was actually unlocking the smartphone using facial recognition. So again, and it was actually pretty fast. I will swipe up to open. So it's actually pretty fast, similar to the OPPO smartphones. I'm not surprised because they have a similar software. It's running on ColorOS, similar to OPPO smartphones. And yes, it is very user-friendly, as you can see here. The one that we got isn't, I believe, the retail version here in the Philippines. That's why there are applications that are included here that you're probably not familiar of. But I believe this one is for the Vietnam market. However, you can still see that the UI of the smartphone is very user-friendly, no app drawers, very similar to the OPPO smartphones. As you can see here, we got Google applications, tools, and of course music file manager, phone manager, and game space. So basically these are the applications that you mostly need on a smartphone. So there are only a few bloatwares, I believe, including here on the tools, but you wouldn't actually bother about that. And yes, we do have a 16 gigs of internal storage, so we have to check out the storage of the smartphone. So right now we're running on Android 8.1 with SDM 450 octa-core processor. There's 2 gigs of RAM, and then we have a device storage of 16 gigs, but the usable storage is 6.75 gig. I mean, that's a little well, we got 16 gigs, that's around 9 point something, 9.3, 9 point, yeah, I'm losing my math right now. I'm really sleepy right now, but yeah, as you can see here, that's a lot of storage that Color OS is taking from the main storage of the smartphone. So you're only able to use the 6.75 gigs of storage. But in case you want to expand the storage of the smartphone, you could actually use the micro SD card slot over here, which also houses the dual SIM card slot. So yeah, I believe it's a triple card tray. So yeah, you've seen the storage of the smartphone, you've seen the software of the smartphone, you've seen the applications that comes with the Realme C1. How about the camera? Well, one of the main features of the Realme C1 is its camera. And yes, as you can see here, we got a very similar software or very similar look to the OPPO smartphone. So we got here the time-lapse video, photo, portrait, sticker, and panorama. So what are we waiting for? So let's take some sample shots using the Realme C1. So as you can see, the shots that I took using the Realme C1 is kind of good for me. I mean, it's not perfect, but the photos are quite good for me for a 5990 smartphone. The selfie, well, we do have AI on the selfie. However, as you can see here, it doesn't look that natural to me. But removing that beautification, well, I find it quite good to me. However, I find it a little paler than I expected, but still, I find it satisfying already for a 5990 smartphone. So yeah, I guess that's it for our unboxing and hands-on of the Realme C1. So yeah guys, if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to check out the subscribe button below and also that bell for the latest Jam Online videos. So yeah, don't forget to check out my Facebook group too at facebook.com/groups/jamonlineph, and also my Facebook page at facebook.com/jamonlineph. So once again, I am Jam of jamonline.ph, and thanks for watching unboxing and hands-on of the Realme C1.